The story begins with an unidentified speaker reflecting on the need to protect what's important to you. The scene then shifts to a courtroom where the judge summarizes the defendant Frey's criminal history and informs her she could be charged as a persistent felony offender. Frey pleads for leniency, saying she is a smart girl with potential, but the judge decides to release her on the condition she completes community service. Frey is released from court and walks outside, reflecting that she almost got locked up again. She has a brief, friendly interaction with a stranger who returns her phone. Frey mentions she needs to get home to feed her cat Homer. Two criminals confront Frey, demanding she return a car she failed to steal for them. They threaten violence if she does not comply. Frey improvises, pretending one of the men is someone else and punching him to make her escape. Frey returns to her apartment, only to find it burned down with her cat Homer missing. A news report summarizes that the fire was likely arson by local gang members. Frey goes to her friend Leah's apartment, injured and distraught. She leaves her cat Homer with Leah, saying she needs time to deal with things, but will come back for Homer later. On her birthday, Frey resolves to get her life together, get Homer back, and finally leave the city. Frey approaches a strange portal and gets transported to another realm. She finds herself in a corrupted, monster-filled land with no way home. Frey discovers a sentient, talking bracelet around her arm, which introduces itself as her new bonded companion. It explains they now have magical abilities and must work together to survive. Frey and the bracelet arrive in the city of Athia. The city leaders interrogate Frey, accusing her of being a demon because she survived the corrupted lands. They decide to imprison her in the Tower of Pinoy. A woman named Odin frees Frey from the tower, giving her a disguise. Odin explains she believes Frey can help save Athia and shows her documents on the mystical portals Frey traveled through. Odin asks Frey to retrieve her father's research journals on the corruption from the dangerous lands outside the city. In return, Odin will give Frey the documents on returning home. Frey reluctantly agrees. Frey begins her journey outside the city to find Odin's father's research at the Cognitions Guild. She discovers the guild abandoned and corrupted. Frey returns to the city to find it under attack. Odin explains a woman named Tantas is terrorizing them because of Frey's presence. The city leaders argue on how to respond. Despite not finding Odin's father's research, Frey upholds her end of the bargain and gives Odin the documents on returning home. She then decides to confront Tantas herself to stop the attacks. Frey makes threatening and nonsensical statements, including mentioning going home, killing a crazy lady, making someone worse, and questioning what they are doing. Frey talks about going home and says goodbye to others. Music begins playing. Frey is introduced to archives and questions who the other speaker is. The other speaker explains they are an archivist and were formerly a blacksmith who made weapons for a woman who raided their city. The original speaker questions everyone in town and insults them. The archivist guides them to keep moving. Frey wonders how the Tantas turned against their people. The archivist claims it was propaganda to prove themselves and gain power. Freys discuss the history of the Tantas, who were leaders that fought in an ancient war against the Reddick, but eventually turned against their own people. The archivist provides a floor plan of the castle and discusses Scylla, the formidable leader of the Tantas. Frey expresses doubts but is encouraged this is a great service. Frey shows their smartphone to someone fascinated by the advanced technology and takes pictures of the outside for them. Frey observes a strange phenomenon where people instantly transform. The archivist solemnly states there is nothing to be done now except end their misery. Frey notes the quiet and anticipates trouble ahead. The archivist reassures they are close to the upper city and should avoid more conflict. Frey questions how they came to be on this difficult journey. Their companion insists it is not to be fought. Frey engages in an intense battle involving considerable shouting and violence. Frey reflects on the misery and destruction witnessed, wishing to leave despite the insistence of their companion. The companion philosophizes that destruction and corruption are beautiful forms of creation. Frey mocks this perspective. Freys examine paintings of the Tantas, representing justice, love, wisdom, and strength. Frey compliments their appearances. Freys discuss a historical purge against the Reddick opponents. The archivist claims the Tantas led the battles. The speakers look at a painting of one Tanta without a name, deemed a demon. Frey vows to punish her. Frey confronts Scylla directly and taunts her. Scylla angrily threatens retaliation before they engage in combat. After an intense battle, Frey succeeds in killing Scylla, but expresses regret and doubt over their actions. With Scylla dead, her magic fades, and Frey must hurry to escape from the rapidly flooding castle. Frey laments having to take a life and debates the morality of their battle against the Tantas. Unknown repercussions are coming now that one Tanta has been killed and urges Frey to kill the others. The archivist admits she misjudged Frey and seeks their help to face the Tantas, but Frey angrily refuses. The archivist praises Frey's triumph, but warns the victory over Scylla is only temporary. Townspeople praise Frey for giving them hope by killing Scylla, but Frey remains troubled. Upbeat music plays as Frey dances and receives applause and praise from a celebratory crowd. The town is attacked again, with many transforming instantly into monsters, leading to arguments about Frey's role. The companion notes the beautiful but deadly landscape. Frey agrees but focuses on the constant threat rather than grace. Frey witness people suddenly transforming into monsters and are forced to fight them off amidst the spreading destruction. The speakers go in search of more medicine to save Frey's afflicted friend, narrowly avoiding a monster attack. A councilwoman blames Frey for the destruction, but is rebuked. She threatens Frey before being forced out. Frey collapses suddenly while the companion hurriedly tends to the worsening affliction. After arguing over the duty to help others, Frey reluctantly decide to travel to the domain of the next Tanta. Wallowing in self-pity, Frey laments bringing ruin wherever they go and makes a half-hearted apology for their companion's loss. The companions exchange friendly greetings and well wishes, suggesting their relationship is warming. The afflicted friend collapses, and it's apparent their condition is worsening without the medicine. The companion explains the medicine is gone, and the only hope left is seeking more from the grove of the violet trees. The companion provides directions to the violet grove to find more medicine before it's too late to save the afflicted friend. Passing the place where the kind child was killed again, Frey expresses remorse over her tragic and premature death. Frey is disturbed to pass where a kind child was killed and laments the injustice and cruelty of her early death. Despite warnings, Frey stubbornly refuses to speak with Olus, claiming she's powerless and her problems are not Frey's problems. Following directions to the castle town, Frey heads off to search for more of the critically needed medicine. Desperate to save the dying companion, Frey pleads for help, learning to use the objects that allow travel between realms. Soothing music plays as the companion uses their power to heal Frey's affliction. Feeling confused but healed, Frey has many questions and acknowledges they've already found the way home. Cornered by a threatening adversary, Frey firmly rejects violence and manages to secure the needed medicine. After a harrowing confrontation, Frey narrowly escapes with the medicine, but chastises the companion for endangering them without cause. Despite urgent appeals, Frey stubbornly refuses to kill the remaining Tanta, opting to return home instead. Stung by a provocative verbal attack, Frey lashes out with a crude insult about the companion's deceased mother. Hoping to reason with the Tanta of justice, Frey seeks a non-violent solution to stop the attacks on the people. Despite seeking peace, Frey ends up arrested and forced to stand trial for murder by the Tanta of justice. Bewildered by a strange trial of rhyming pronouncements, Frey protests their innocence and calls for the confusing proceedings to end. The bewildering trial continues with the Tanta of Justice manipulating proceedings to engineer Frey's execution despite their pleas. During the farcical trial, the Tanta makes cryptic poetic statements about Frey's past and a lost daughter. For the next phase of the trial, Frey is plunged into water and told they must succeed to avoid execution. Despite the odds, Frey passes the trial by water, proving their innocence and convincing the Tanta to stop attacking the people. With the trial concluded, the executed Tanta appears and unites with her sister Tanta in a cryptic lament about loss and price paid. The Tanta shockingly reveals Frey was an abandoned daughter, leaving them reeling at this life-altering revelation. With the Tanta's magic ended, her castle rapidly floods, and Frey narrowly escapes from drowning. Frey grapples with feelings of loss after the afflicted friend's death, culminating in an angry exchange of accusations. Reeling from the revelation about their mother, Frey has an identity crisis and angrily rejects any role in saving the land that abandoned them. Still fuming, the speakers exchange sarcastic barbs, especially about Frey's lack of concern for the people of the land. In a heated exchange, harsh truths are spoken about Frey's lack of supportive upbringing compared to the companions. Frey vents their anger at abandonment, renouncing any role in saving the people and exiting with choice insults. Still enraged, Frey demands to know everything about traveling between realms, but is coldly rebuked by the companion. The companion criticizes Frey's rejection of their heritage and suggests they read books about the true meaning of being an heir. With their relationship in tatters, the speakers part ways in anger, leaving Frey to seek answers from their mother. Frey wakes up in a strange place and tells their companion that something is not right. They realize they are trapped and plead to be let out. Frey expresses feeling abandoned and betrayed. They criticize their mother for abandoning them as a baby. Frey confronts who they believe to be their captor, demanding to be released from the false reality they are trapped in. Frey comes to realize the place they are in is alive and capable of creating an artificial reality. They demand again to be released. A friend appears to Frey and tells them not to listen to the voice telling them to give up hope. The friend vows to find a way out together. Frey confronts their captor again, seeing through another illusion. They reaffirm their refusal to accept the fate given to them. Frey is tempted by a dark voice to give up and end their life. Their friend's voice counters again, urging them not to listen. Frey declares they will not let their captor toy with their mind anymore. They break free from the nightmare with their friend. Frey finds themselves in a castle, presumably belonging to their captor. Their friend explains they are in Visoria. Frey calls out, demanding to face their captor directly. They discover her dead, which allows them to escape the illusions. The friend explains the castle was used by the captor to torment her victims using illusions. With her dead, they are finally free. Frey learns that an ancient demon has returned to destroy their land. Frey confronts the demon directly, declaring themselves the last of the ancient warrior line. They battle the demon with their inherited abilities. In the midst of battle, Frey's mother appears. Frey pleads with her to help protect the people. Frey's mother sacrifices herself to save Frey from the demon. Frey is devastated by the loss. With their mother gone, Frey feels hopeless and unequal to the task of facing the demon alone. On the battlefield, Frey unlocks power inherited from ancient warrior ancestors. They are ready to use this power to defeat the demon. Frey is transported to a place of ancient knowledge where they will learn the truth about their past and make an important choice. Through visions of the past, Frey learns their mother was one of the ancient warriors who fought the demon long ago. They realize their own power comes from their ancestral lineage. Frey sees a vision of their mother meeting their father, who is from another world. There are hopes the child they conceive will one day bring peace. Frey learns that the ancient warriors sealed some of their power within them as a child to keep it from the demon. Their abilities were locked away until now. Even sealed away, the demon continued to spread its corruption, slowly driving the ancient warriors mad. Frey's mother resisted the longest. As she falls to the corruption, Frey's mother decides to send her child away to protect them from the demon and from herself. The visions show Frey's mother losing her humanity and mercy as the demon's corruption twists her mind. Frey witnesses their mother forced to leave them behind in order to help save others. It is a heartbreaking sacrifice she must make. The visions show Frey's mother and father forced to part from their child, entrusting the safety of the people and the future to them. Frey learns their mother sent them away not out of cruelty, but to protect them from the demon's corruption and from herself as she lost control. With the truth revealed, Frey is told this will be their hardest battle yet, with the fate of the land at stake. They must choose whether to fight. Frey chooses to use their inherited power to fight the demon and protect the people, as their mother hoped they would do. Fighting alongside their mother, Frey is devastated when she is mortally wounded by the demon. She dies after they reconcile. With their mother gone, Frey must face the demon alone. They unleash their full power inherited from the ancient warrior line. At a critical moment, Frey's friend from before appears to support them in the battle, reminding them they don't have to do this alone. With help from their friend, Frey ultimately defeats the demon, bringing an end to its destructive rampage. The people rejoice, recognizing Frey as a hero who saved them all. Frey reflects that they couldn't have done it alone. Frey returns to the resting place of the ancient warriors who came before, honoring their mother's sacrifice and finding closure. With the demon defeated, Frey gives thanks to their mother, knowing she lives on in spirit even if not physically. Speaking affectionately to a pet, Frey reflects on recent events and their new purpose protecting others with their gifts. More work lies ahead repairing the damage left behind. But Frey will not have to do it alone, drawing strength from friends.